Frequency Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
Can the country's premiers present a united front in the face of high-stakes trade talks? Provincial leaders are meeting with the Prime Minister today. Hi, I'm Virjesh Dave. This is Big Headlines, everything you need to know to be in the know in just 5 minutes. The Prime Minister is sitting down for formal talks with Canadian premiers. They're going to try and show a united Team Canada front as trade tensions rise again with the country's biggest trading partner, the United States. Mark Carney spoke ahead of the meeting on his desire to diversify trade beyond the U.S., saying he's looking for new trade deals with India and more Asia-Pacific nations.
The country is more united, ambitious, and determined than it has been in decades. And it's incumbent on all of us to seize this moment, build big things together.
He says trade will be top of the agenda as the meeting gets underway in Ottawa. A First Nation in Northern Quebec is under lockdown after a shooting left 2 men in their 30s dead. The chief of the Cree Nation of Mistini is urging residents to stay in their homes and lock their doors as travel in and out of the community is restricted. This resident describes the situation.
A bit scary. Barely got any sleep last night. Just waiting for updates.
Police were called on Wednesday night, and 2 men were found inside a vehicle with gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead a short time later. Authorities put the entire community of just over 3,700 people into lockdown, closing all schools and businesses. Investigators believe this could be connected to organized crime in the area. There's no information yet on a suspect. Mistini Cree Nation is about a 9-hour drive north of Montreal. Also making big headlines, it may still be a few months away, but excitement is building for the FIFA World Cup. Preparations are happening in Toronto and Vancouver for the most-watched sporting event on the planet. Canada's FIFA vice president says everything is on schedule.
It'll start in earnest towards the end of February, March, most of the stadiums. And come June 12th, when Canada plays their first game here, all be ready.
Soccer fans will be able to gather and watch the games live at designated watch sites across the country. The Canada Celebrates event launches June 11th with the first 2 stops set up in Halifax and in British Columbia. Up to 1,200 GM workers are set to work their last shift at the automaker's Oshawa, Ontario plant on Friday as layoffs begin to take effect. The union says the automaker is cutting 1 of 3 shifts at the plant. The layoffs were first announced last year in response to U.S. tariffs. They were originally expected to go into effect in November, but were delayed a bit to this month instead. U.S. President Donald Trump's border czar says immigration enforcement will reduce the number of officers in Minnesota. Tom Homan suggests a drawdown would happen only after what he calls cooperation from state officials. But he did acknowledge that operations do need to change.
No agency or organization is perfect. President Trump and I, along with others in the administration, have recognized that certain improvements could and should be made. That's exactly what I'm doing here.
Trump sent Homan to Minnesota in the wake of the fatal shooting of a protester at the hands of a federal immigration officer on Saturday. If you haven't listened yet, today on the Big Story podcast, what's at stake for Pierre Poilievre ahead of his leadership review? Host Karen Ciolin speaks to political strategist Jamie Ellerton.
You know, his party said earlier this week they are willing to work in a bipartisan fashion to fast-track legislation. Is this an attempt, do you think, to recast the party more largely as a government in waiting, as opposed to not just a prime minister in waiting?
Yeah, I think that's definitely it. And I think anytime a country or a political constituency is under some kind of threat, people look for leaders to help provide reassurance and put their faith and trust in them to get to the other side, to get to a better place and resolve whatever the challenge is. And obviously, when you look at the challenges Canada is facing today and the rhetoric we see coming out of the White House and the genuine threats to our sovereignty, Canadians are looking for answers and are looking for hope and are looking for a way forward and someone to defend their country. And so the Prime Minister gets the benefit, frankly, of being the incumbent government and getting to be Canada's fighter.
You can listen to the full episode wherever you get your podcasts. Now you're in the know. Thank you for listening to Big Headlines. Make sure you follow, share, and review Big Headlines. Enrique Amaturo is our lead producer. I'm Virjesh Dave. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.